We're live now. Okay, I'm trying to see if the nods are coming in. Can you hear me? Cool. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sudhanshu Kaushik. I am the founder of Young India Foundation. And first of all, I need to thank Asta Gupta and Shubham, who leads our visuals team now, who have thankfully stayed way past their allocated hour times to make this live possible. And also Shlomo and Rhythm, who created the graphics and were really insistent on doing these lives. So what's the whole idea behind this live session? What we want to do is kind of talk to you directly, and we started taking questions and kind of answer what YIF is doing, YIF as in Young India Foundation. We get it. Young India Foundation is a very, very broad organization with an extensive mandate. And sometimes it can get confusing, sometimes it can get a little bit of cumbersome when you're trying to see what all we're doing. And we hope that the questions that were coming in, instead of having to get that source from elsewhere, that we could try to answer them right here and kind of learn more about Young India Foundation. So we have questions that we took all week long that I'll be talking about. And we also, if you want to ask a question, go ahead and ask, and they can scream out what you're asking, and hopefully I can answer them at the end of the live. So let's begin. The first question from Nayanike, and these are Instagram handles or Facebook usernames. So I'm sorry if I mispronounce your username or your actual name. Please don't take that to heart. So first is Nayanike. She asked how YIF came into being, and what other things will YIF be focusing on apart from elections and politics? So, Nayanike, great question. YIF came into being, I think, from the need. A need in India where 670 million people are below the age of 25, where we have zero representation in our Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. And the need, because young people in India aren't doing so well. I say this all the time, but we have the highest rate of STDs and AIDS among young people. We have the highest rate of suicides among young people. And according to the Youth Development Index, are 100 and I think in the 130s out of 180 countries in terms of our Youth Development Index. So all facts and figures state to the fact that young people aren't doing well. And that was the need that came out of it. And if we go into detail, I guess it was something that came up from the grassroots. It wasn't someone just had a pop-up idea. It was one step after another, one mistake after another, one event after another that formulated what YIF is doing now. And that's why we truly are proud to say that we are a grassroots level movement, not a top-down idea that we're trying to implement, but strands picked up from different parts of India and different corners of India to encompass what we're doing right now. I'm really, really proud of that. In terms of what other things YIF will be focusing on apart from elections and politics, well, that's what we're trying to do, and that's a big issue. But in terms of focusing on, we want to provide academic and also digestible, because those are two separate things, literature and resources available on young people. I'm sick and tired of having to search and be completely disappointed that there's not enough literature available on young people and how they're doing in India. And I think this is exactly what we need. And we try to create that, craft that from the researchers, from our think tank team that are trying to work and formulate and have these ideas branched out. Nilafar, we met in Kochi in Kerala. She asked, many of youth here join youth wings of political parties present. So they won't compete for elections since it will be against the interest of those political parties since they choose their own candidates. So how can YIF bring candidates? So I have a contention with that. First of all, youth political parties exist in India because they need to fill their rallies, their protests, and just bodies. And that's what youth political parties are used for primarily. If you look at all across the spectrum, that's been the present case. Now, there are student wings of political parties too that obviously compete in student politics, but we're not competing within the campus. Our mandate and our vision goes much beyond just the campus. It's truly the constituency. And so we're not competing with these student wing parties, nor are we trying to compete with these youth political parties, because we're trying to seek independent candidates that form the community, not because they're pledged to a party, because they're pledged to the people of that constituency. Reaction with 2 E's and a Y, asks, does YIF have a Mumbai office? If yes, can I apply for volunteering or internships there? So no, we don't have a Mumbai office, but we do have a Mumbai regional team that is being formulated and being led as we speak. And if you apply on the Google Docs and say that you want to intern or volunteer at the regional office in Mumbai, or team, let us know and we'll get back to you. Dhruv asks, what is the future goal of YIF? The future goal is quite simply to make this gerontocracy that exists in India much more representative of the demographic of India, and to make politics accessible and inclusive. Seems simple, is complicated, but we're at it, and we're gonna do something. Meet. I like your Instagram username. When will YIF start in Gujarat? YIF can start in Gujarat when you want to. It's really depending on your will and your interest in trying to bring YIF in your community and in your place. So if whether you're in Ahmedabad or if you're in other parts of Gujarat, Surat, etc., let us know. Get in contact with us, and we'd be more than happy to start something in Gujarat and to hopefully have good young people in Gujarat be part of YIF. Momita asks, what is the aim of forming YIF? I don't know if you can see it. It's to empower young candidates from the Panchayat to the Parliament. It's to make India more accessible and inclusive to young people. In this for life, hashtag, asks, I like the idea behind YIF. How can I be a part of it? It's as simple as logging on your phone, youngindia.foundation, going on to get involved and signing up. Simple as that. From there on, you'll see where and how you can get involved according to the Google Doc, according to your own time restrictions, and that's where you start. And on the Google Doc, tell us what you're good at. Tell us what you want to do, and we'll adjust you from there. Jyoti asks, when is YIF coming to Kolkata? I want to be part of it. And we want you to be part of YIF, Jyoti. So first of all, email us, contact@youngindiafoundation.org, and let us know that you're interested in hopefully bringing YIF to Kolkata. We've had some interest, and we're trying to bring a larger team, and we'd be more than happy to make that happen. Hashtag build your empire. These Instagram usernames are quite interesting. What do you think about Dushyant Chautala becoming the youth icon in Haryana? So just a bit brief background. Dushyant Chautala is a political dynast from the Chautala family who used to represent the Indian National Lokdal, the INLD. His grandfather was the deputy prime minister. His father or grandfather was the chief minister of Haryana as well, and a political family. And he was also the youngest member of parliament from Hisar in Haryana at the age of 25. Quite impressive, quite symbolic. I don't really have an opinion besides the fact that he holds the record to be the youngest member of parliament, and we need more people. But if you ask me, I would be much prouder if the youngest member of parliament came from a non-political family whose great-grandfather wasn't the deputy prime minister, whose grandfather wasn't the chief minister, whose father were part of politics. So yeah, and this whole idea of becoming the youth icon in Haryana. I'm not really sure what a youth icon is, because I think that the 670 million young people below the age of 25 all are individual identities on their own, and we should be focused on at least giving them a proper basic standard of living rather than trying to create icons of politicians, actors, actresses. But what do I know? Hashtag Junu, I am a communist. How can I establish my thoughts across India? I don't think I'm the right person to ask, but if I don't know. I think that's up to you. But what I can say is, when it comes to YIF, we work with political ideologies across the spectrum, and we do not discriminate. So if you think that you are fit for YIF and want to bring about change in your community, and your community believes in the same political ideologies that you believe in, then we would love to help you spread those ideologies within your political spectrum and actually do work. That's about that. Akeem, how are you? I remember you from Gujarat, Ahmedabad. You've been at it. Thank you so much for just keeping up with us again. How can teens join YIF? Teens can join YIF, especially the 17, 18-year-olds. That's where we're really trying to focus on as well. So what I need you to do, Abeem, and any other teens that are high schoolers, seniors, etc., I need you to contact our high school ambassador program, high school outreach program head, Karthik Gupta. You can find his contact either on our website or we'll be able to forward your inquiry. And he will be able to basically coordinate with you and help you, become part of YIF and something larger within the high school community. And yes, we're looking for teen outreach. Nidhi, finally one normal username. What does one need to do during internships? Is this something which can be referred as a public policy? So in terms of our internship candidate, what we started off doing is we didn't want people to just be, doing Xerox copies or, calling phone calls, etc. We wanted these internships to be substantial, to something that, people could take away. Not only did they learn, but they also impacted. And so when we created the internship program, we went in with these ideas, and we believe that the internship program is super broad, right? So I can't specifically tell you that you're going to be doing this, this, and this, because one day, like some of our interns are doing, can be calling the district electors within Haryana, trying to assess how many young people between the ages of 21 to 25 have actually run in Haryana in local tier elections. Or another day, they could be interior designing what they did today, our upstairs office. And it really is a community and a family feeling. And the gambit is so extensive because yes, you're partaking in campaign processes. We're coordinating now for our interns and us to go to Patiala, where we'll be hopefully contesting or sponsoring and helping people contest in the rural Panchayat elections in Punjab. But we're also doing a wide variety of work, and according to what your desires and needs are, we're willing to adjust for that. So how about you let us know what you want to do in the internship, and we'll make something where you feel like you've really committed and you've really made an impact, and I promise you that. Is this something which we can be referred as public policy? So I never understand this whole, broad term as public policy that we used to love to use. So we're not here making public policy for the entire nation. That sounds great on paper, but what is the impact? What we're doing is the mandate that we have, the sovereignty that we have within those positions, is actually making change within those policies, within the funds that these sarpanches and bunches come and create. And that's what we're really proud of. So yes, it's part and parcel of public policy, but we're really, really happy with this. Umam, I am a law student from UB and interested in politics. How can I join YIF? Sign up. Simple as that. All you have to do, Umam, is basically sign up on the website, tell them that you're a law student and that you want to maybe help in the legal team. Because we do need budding lawyers that are coming up to help coordinate with our legal cell and to make sure that candidates are getting their equal just from the law, and also the electoral structure system. So whether it's the Election Commission of India, whether it's the specific state election commissions, and ensuring that they are properly providing for the candidates that they are in due regards with. So please sign up. Sia, what is the idea behind YIF and what are its future goals? Sia, I've answered that before in the beginning, so I'm gonna skip that, but empower young people, right? Sainath, how can I be a part of YIF? Apply. Go on the website, youngindia.foundation, get involved. That's all you need to do. And if you want to send emails, contact at youngindiafoundation.org. We're super, super easy. Username, hijack, with 2 A's, 2 C's, and 2 K. How to manage education, career, family with social responsibilities. So I am not a psychologist, sociologist, or any of that area, so I think I'm not the one to talk about how to manage those things. I have horrible time management skills. But what I do know is that I've heard this excuse being used for young people, that because they're trying to do this, they can't do that. Listen, we, on a broader basis, on a majority basis, we all have these externalities, whether it's family, societal, etc., education, that we all have to deal with in all parts of our life. It's not just a young person dealing with them. A 50-year-old is still dealing with his family and still having all these different personal pressures, right? So, and they are able to manage that pretty well. So why can't young people? So I'm not really entirely sure about how to manage that, but I do know it's completely possible. And up till now, it's only used as a deterrent for young people to get into public service, and we need to stop using that. The word weaver. I'm a student and I don't have much time and experience, but I want to contribute towards this cause. Please tell me how I can join YIF. We need you. We need people just like you who think they don't have enough experience and who think that they have very limited time. Because what I'm betting is, if you join us as a YIF representative with limited time, there's no, oh, you have to do this, you have to do this. We'll just update you if there's an interest, come and be part of it. And I am betting that you will find something that you can contribute to in part of your YIF career, however long you're associated with us, and you will actually be able to make an impact. And I'm betting on that to happen. And that's what we do. And then a second question, what is YIF's approach towards framing public policies? Again, right now, we're working on trying to provide these public measures that have been made, actually having them accessible without any discrimination to as many people as possible who deserve them. We're not trying to create policies and create laws and measures. We're trying to create people who can apply those measures in their local communities. So if that kind of answers it. Pratish on Facebook asks, I would like to know more about YIF, also what kind of time and other commitments are required to join the team. YoungIndia.Foundation. You'll get all the information you can from there. We can also send you a brief. Rowan, how can I join YIF if I'm over the age of 30? Rowan, we don't discriminate on age. See, we're not ageist like most people are. Yes, our goal is, and that's our focus area, to empower young people below the age of 25. But if you, as a 30-year-old, want to contribute, of course you should. And we would love to have you, your experience and your characteristics and your traits that you have developed over time, to contribute to young people and their success in these elections. So all you have to do is sign up on the website and email us if you want to and tell us what you're interested in. Adia, I want to know more about how we can contribute and what are the engagement opportunities available and how much time and resources we need to pull in that YIF requires. Again, that depends on the time that you can give to us. We have work that we have built a solid team on, thank you Asta Gupta, that can basically give you the needs and demands that you need according to your time schedule and your interests as well in correlation to that. So just contact us. Sehaj, civic engagement is an all-time low in urban centers, and no youth knows even the member who is really running the office and how many cases do they have on their shoulders. So how would anyone want to run for election when people vote on 2-3 faces in such a big country? So I have quite a difference, because I think that when it depends on the elections that are taking place. So when we say 2-3 faces in such a big country, that might be the case for parliamentary elections. But we're talking about local tier elections, and these local tier elections, on top of assembly elections, are run on local issues, local faces, and local context. So I don't agree with the fact that we're focusing on 2-3 faces. No, it's 2-3 faces that we see in the media. It's 2-3 faces that we see on the website. But these people, right, whether it's in rural or urban areas in a localized context, know or want to be associated or can help on a localized issue. And these local leaders are the most essential. And we need to understand that as citizens of this country, that our work, our success, and our literally livelihood in rural areas at least, depends on our local representative, not the MP, not the Prime Minister, not the MLA, not the Chief Minister, but our Sarpanch and our Bunch and our municipality member and our mayors. Remember that. How can a person engage the totally civic disengaged urban youth? No, because according to the Center of Developing Studies, they did a really good study, I think this was in 2012, 2013, on civic engagement or just public engagement of young people and how they were participating. And what they said, and what isn't really thought about or talked about, is that young people are engaging in politics or in civic engagement, not necessarily party politics, but they're engaging in different ways, whether it's through social media, whether it's through mainstream media, whether it's through their own connections. Those variables and mediums are different, but they are engaging, and I hope you can look into that study. And that was in 2012, 2013, and I'm willing to bet that has exponentially increased with us. And I would also say that from our work in rural India, young people really understand the value of how important it is for someone of their own to be elected in a representative position. They understand the value of it, and we're really, really proud. Surjan asked, what is the biggest regret that you have when working with YIF? The biggest regret? I don't know if I have the biggest regret, but we all make mistakes. And we've made a lot of mistakes at YIF, and I think that's perfectly fine to acknowledge and accept, because the thing is we're learning. We're not a corporate institution. We're not a political party. This is not something that we were literally given to or had a divine blessing of. We're young people concerned about our country, but more importantly, the young people in this country. And we are bound to, in this big gambit, bound to make mistakes. But the thing is we're willing to acknowledge those mistakes, and we're willing to fix them. In terms of what things that we've made a mistake on, I, for one, am willing to completely accept that I've messed up on assessing candidates in the beginning, and verifying if these candidates are really there or not, and trusting at times our representatives or people that were allocated to do these responsibilities. But the thing is we learn. We learn not to do that. We learn not to rely on those candidates, and we learn to double, triple check, to get verification, to understand that we are playing with people's lives here. It's not something that should be just taken at a one glance, because everything we do from now on doesn't impact just Young India Foundation team members, or not the candidates, but it impacts people, citizens who are voting, who are participating, and who have the hope from these candidates that we're sponsoring and have hope from us. So I think that we will make mistakes. We won't make large mistakes, we've learned, but we will always correct them and hopefully have the best intention in our mind, for sure. So Wyeth asks, what do you do? We empower young people. Do you support students' participation in politics, or just young people? We support both. See, the idea is that young people, especially going from just a graduate course to a postgraduate institution, etc., are in that gambit, and we want these students to be fully participating in elections. See, our idea is to not just say, oh, young people can participate in the campus. It's reimagining the campus boundaries. It's reimagining that the campus is part of the constituency. Okay, so at one point, your limitations are so stringent when it's within the campus, but once outside, you just have so much ability and influence to create change that can change your campus, but change anywhere else that you correspond with. So that's basically what we're trying, and yes, we want student participation. What's your say about our contemporary situation, which an ecosystem is running in academia and media, and the other ecosystem running the government? I don't know what this question means, so I'm just gonna skip it. What should young people do in such a scenario? I don't know if this is related to the third question, which I think that's what you're trying to do, so maybe this correlate both. What I do know, is that young people need to understand and fully partake in this representative politics. Stop imagining that politics is so distant, politics is so much of an abstract idea. Because representation, that concept of you being elected and representing your own people, affects our daily lives every single day. Whether I want a driver's license, whether I want the pothole to be covered with in front of the road in front of my house, whether I need, if I'm in rural India, pension from a Manrega scheme, that is on the basis of the Panch, the Sarpanch, the local municipality, the mayor. People talk about, they get the power was in the MP, the MLA. No, the power to bring about change in our lives is within this local tier governance. That's what young people should be doing. They should be able to think and imagine that they can partake in this process, whether it's actually contesting or helping contest. That's a difference, because don't think that, oh, you're not the person to run for elections, you're not the personality. Don't let yourself believe that you can't partake in it, because you can. People like us are not leaders. We just want what's best for our country and what's best for our people, and we can partake that. So many examples of engineers, of doctors, of people that are so outside of the political gambit, that are willing, with their skills and traits, are able to bring about change in participating in literally compartmentalizing the campaign process and participating in that structure. I would love to talk to you more about it. I don't want to rant, but please message me and I'll let you know about how we're compartmentalizing the campaign process, so what your traits are, we can use. Going on, another question from Apurva. Do you find candidates easily? Do many young people are interested in politics? I think a lot of people are interested. The saying, everything is political. I believe that. There are strains, whether it's the Ambani wedding, or the Ranveer Singh Deepika wedding, or whether it's what's going on, whether it's the farmer protest, the agitation, or on a localized level, what's happening in our campuses and institution. Everything is political. And yes, people are interested. They might not be I'm going to join a political party, run for the campaign politics interested. Not I'm going to wear a kurta. Yes, I am wearing a sweatshirt. But that does not mean that I'm not capable enough to understand politics. We believe in these superficial ideas of this is what a politician or a budding politician or a politician or someone that's interested in politics should be. That's not the case. It's part of our daily lives, it's part of us, and we need to understand that. Another question from Purva. Do you find candidates easily? Surprisingly, yes. I mean, yes and no. Yes, because a lot of people want to run. No, because we're not trying to make everyone run. We want people that are qualified, that are capable, and that are genuine, right? That are public service oriented. And that's hard to find. But no, people are coming at us, they want to run, and we do not know what to do with them, besides the fact that we are looking for genuine candidates, and we will not compromise there. Is there any other NGO or political party helping you? No. That's why, we can't run 1,000 more candidates, because this is an initiative started by young people, young students, young graduates, young pre-professionals who are so fed up of this system and want change and do not align themselves with any political party. Because for them, it's not a party service, it's a people service. So no NGO, no political party is helping us. It's just young people helping other young people. Another question, is Sudhanshu a political leader too, or was? No, I'm just a very, very audacious, young, stupid person who refuses to take no for an answer. And I think that I have had the privilege of being able to study in an environment where I've seen how young people can really impact their community, and I want to take that privilege that I've had and bring it back home, bring it here, and that's what I'm doing. No. So, more questions. Again, how do I get involved in YIF? You know exactly how to do it. Go up to Young India Foundation, message us. Do we have any other questions on Facebook Live or Instagram at all?
There's one that says that I'm confused. What exactly is the function of YIF?
The function of YIF. Okay, so the function of YIF starts from our mission, right? And our philosophy of making inclusive and accessible politics to young people. But the functions are broad. So we have a think tank side, right? Our research side. What basically contributes and creates research and content related to young people in India, intertwined with whether it's politics, public policy, etc. And basically have digestible content and credible content, because that's important, right? Because this stuff is research back and forth, and try to have this accessible knowledge that people can take away and say, okay, this is how young people are doing. These are how many young legislators in different states. This is how many young people are contesting, etc. The second is our outreach and advocacy, right? Which is basically trying to create the concept of youth rights in India more profound. The last time that we had a youth rights movement was in 1989 when Rajiv Gandhi decreased the age of voting from 21 to 18. After that, what really has been profoundly a youth rights advancement? Not much. What we want to know is for people to stop being ageist, for us to not take this gerontocracy for granted, and actively contribute. And that comes in the outreach and advocacy gambit, where we have campus ambassadors, high school ambassadors, workshops, where we're trying to raise awareness that young people are so large in numbers. I mean, I say this and now it still shocks me that 670 million people, twice the size of all of the United States, we have below the age of 25. Just imagine that. 670 million people under the age of 25. And these things people don't know. They don't know the fact that our age, average age of a parliamentarian is 58 years old. I don't understand. We say that there's a generation gap between us and our parents. They don't understand us. How are politicians supposed to understand us when they're twice, thrice our age? That's a generational gap. And those are the people that are now literally in charge of creating an India for us. We have to build it. And then, the research and the think tank all fit into our main goal. It's the campaigning part. It's the fact that if you are a genuine candidate and want to commit to public service and actually are ingrained into the community, we want you to step up. We want to help you and elect and be elected for local level positions. So I'm not going to sit here and promise you that we can run your MP position. We can't. What we can do is localize your issues, localize your context, and make sure that whether it's a municipality seat, whether it's a mayor seat, whether it's a sarpanch or a panch seat, we will help you win. How? Whether it's as simple as creating or working on your social media presence, whether it's creating your persona as a politician or a public figure, whether it's your dialect that we need to work on, whether it's your speeches, whether it's the content part about trying to create a polling analysis of what your ward, what your gaon, what your village needs. We'll work on that, or creating a manifesto and making it easier for you to actually submit nominations and legal help. The gambit is so large. It goes from polling to marketing to legal help and over and under. And we have different branches to help that. So I hope that clarifies YIF, and if not, then we really haven't done a wonderful job. But the thing is you can always directly contact us. And I guess I'm not going to take much of your time because it's been around 35 minutes. What I do want you guys to take away from this is the fact that we need to stop imagining that politics, that public policy, that representation is something so distant from us. When in reality, it's something that obviously is a part of our daily life, but also something that we can actually contribute to. I love using this example, and I want to end this here, is I was doing a talk at DAV Chandigarh, and this is when we were doing the Y25 campaign, so raising awareness of youth rights and young people in India. And I went there and I had this 11th grade girl come up to me who I think is now a 12th grader at DAV Chandigarh, Sejal. And she basically said, I want to help. I don't know how, I've never been part of politics, but I want to help. And at that moment I said, okay, I kind of laughed it off a bit. But a week later we announced our first candidate, Jagbir, and after Jagbir, we basically started campaigning, and I get an email in my inbox, and it's from Sejal, and she said, I wanted to participate and I want to help, so I don't know how to, but what I am good at is spoken word poetry, composing music, and writing music. And she basically sang and composed an acoustic version, and non-acoustic too, actually, two versions, of a campaign song for Jagbir and youth empowerment. And we were able to use that song and her voice in our campaign in a rural village in Haryana. Imagine that. Someone, so distant from politics, sitting in Chandigarh in a high school, using her voice and helping another young candidate in the middle of a village in Haryana. That's what YIF is about. That's the whole idea, the concept, and the ability that we're trying to create. It's that you can take part in changing this vast gerontocracy that makes up India. And if you're wanting to take part, well, first of all, join the movement, hashtag Y25. Message us, email us, contact us. We're more than willing to talk to you and let us know. You know, we're wanting to change India for its young, and we need you to do it. I'm out of words. I'm also needing water, so I'm going to end it here. But the conversation continues, and always remember, keep asking Y25.